What up, nerds? My name is Nikki and I'm a geek under grace now. Yeah, for some reason they decided to give me a show on this channel. Lord help us all. But before we get on to the actual show, I want to explain a little bit about it. See, I want to reach out to you, the masses, the internet, and give you advice and encouragement on anything from your day-to-day to the more trying, difficult times in your life, like when you've made the terrible mistake of playing Mario Kart with a close friend of yours and they hit you with the blue shell and you're just left there wondering where that leaves a relationship, and you cared about them so much and you thought that they cared about you, and it just... Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I love you, man. I love you too. So I advise you all this week to keep calm and carry on. Now, I know that's pretty open-ended for my first video, but I really just want to meet you all where you're at and remind you that at the end of the day, the most important thing is that you keep going. And for those days where it's really tough, or whether it be stress or grief or holy righteous rage at the sinner who threw the blue shell at you.
I thought we were past that.
Too soon. Anyway, here are some tips for you. 1. Trust that God's got your back before you even know that you need it. Oh, the number of ways that God has made me feel like a whiny little brat with his awesomeness. In a good way, of course. Okay, here's one for you. So, late last year, my church got a new music pastor, and he and his family needed a place to stay for about a month while their house was getting ready. My parents really pushed for me to offer up my apartment, which I was so not down with. But eventually I gave in and I moved back in with my parents, and thank God that I did, because that was me starting my second semester at college, and I just got a new job that was really stressful, and one of my close friends just decided to up and nope on me. So being able to go back to my parents' place and not having to worry about food or cleaning or bills or anything like that was such a godsend. 2. Trust that God's got a reason for you to be where you be. Guys, God does not play with dice. He has an intricate plan that places you in the exact place that you need to be for the best possible benefit of you and everyone around you for every second of every day of your life. I would try to find a Bible story that talks about this specifically, but really you look at the Bible as a whole and you get it. I mean, that thing is a series of perfectly planned events. But if you really want to look into it, I suggest taking a look at the book of Esther. See, God's name is not mentioned once in that entire book. And yet you read it and you know that God's the only one that can be pulling the strings. Esther's uncle Haman comes right out and says it when he says, "And who knows that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" Only indication of God in the entire book, by the way. 3. Trust that God's going to work things out in the end. Whether or not you're a Christian, I think that everyone can agree that life doesn't always turn out the way that we want it to. But honestly, I think this is for the best. I mean, the human race has its moments, but can you imagine what it would be like if we controlled fate? Look at us, we've been trying for some odd thousands of years and it has clearly not been going well. The vision that we have for ourselves rarely lines up with what God has planned for us, but God's a lot smarter than us, so I think I'm putting my money on him. He even guarantees that we're a factor in his planning when he says, "And know the plans I have for you." This is the Lord's declaration. Plans for your welfare, not for disaster, to give you a hope and a future. The too long damn read of it is that as long as God's in control, you're on the right path. Just because he's not spoiling the ending for you doesn't mean that there isn't one or that it's not going to blow your mind. So with all of that in mind, I'm going to redirect you to my first point, which is to keep calm and carry on. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you Geeks Under Grace for welcoming me into the family. I'm so happy to be here. In the comments, on the Facebook, in the email, tell me what you'd like to hear in future videos. Also, prayer requests. Give me a good excuse to talk to my dad. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you like my face and the sound of my voice, no one blames you. Click the link in the description below to see my second channel, Nick Mac Paddywhack, where I upload every Friday. And lastly, until next we meet, remember that you have a great God and he is with you every step that you take.